between Joe Olson and Eric Hunter, teammates. I'm joined by Justin Desai. It looks like we're off to the races here. Let's go and get into the game. Yeah, what usually happens in this scenario? Because I know you've been in this scenario a bunch, with, with Chu and Steve. So what do you guys usually do when you have to play each other? Hold on, they can't hear you. Let me fix that. Let's see if I can fix that.
Eric can't satisfy his starting interrupt. They're probably just gonna play like an open game, I'm guessing.
Oh, something.
Jeremy, now I can't hear you.
God damn it. Okay, you can hear me now, right?
I can hear you, yeah. In the stream here?
Still can't hear Justin though. Taco Bell. Okay, we're both good. All right, good.
All right, so they had to cancel because Eric could not satisfy the starting interrupt.
Okay. Greg, full win. Yeah, because of the league rules. We'll see. I don't think it really matters, but it doesn't have to be in the league.
Okay, did something else get messed up? What? What? Joe says you just want to pick a different deck. What? I don't understand. Oh, so, okay. So Eric said that card shouldn't be there. I'm guessing it's a card that, like, maybe just isn't playable in map, because everything in this start looks reasonable.
Yeah,
Maybe he played like a Vader's Saber by accident or something.
Yeah, I wonder what.
But everything. Okay, it's canceled again. Okay.
Well, what happened so I can fix all the audio issues?
Yeah, we're off to a. I don't know why they're restarting this time.
So, Jay Knapp was wondering. He wanted to hear your spiel on the teammate matchup again.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, it's happened a number of times. I think if you know if you know you're going to get matched up, there's a couple different ways you can approach it. You can. I mean, it's weird in OCS because you can change decks in between the next rounds. Like for real life stuff, you could be like, all right, you play this deck, I'll play this deck, and we'll just kind of get a sense of the field and Not that you would throw it, but you don't want to have like all your eggs in one basket. Um, but like because it's like you're in the context of a larger tournament. This is a one shot matchup. So I imagine they probably just like didn't talk, or maybe they did talk, or it's weird. It's really weird. I know for the OCS final, I guess the only time this has happened is the OCS finals in 2018. They all four of us were playing, and I said to Steve, I said to the group when Mike, I think I won. I'm not sure who won first, but um, I was like, all right, me and Steve will text, and you and Mike and Chu will text. So we like split up
Gotcha.
for that. But that was also more fun. Like we weren't really like caring as much. Like I don't think I like really like play tested games because we knew we like had pretty much won the event as a team. That's the way we viewed it. Like we won the first OCS. Um, so oh, I should preview the OCS championship card during this match. I'm able to preview it.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Cool. That'll be fun.
Okay, so we see map on Eric's side and this Chief Chirpa's Hut light side deck that
They
they've
seem to
built.
like it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean it has like everything that old Throne Room used to have. Have they started again? Oh, they have. Okay.
Yeah.
Just couldn't find the game. They have. So I figured you'd play this or Diplo. So it seems like they're indicating they didn't talk. It has everything that the old Throne Room had, like in the middle of the game. It's just that your velocity is just the complete opposite. Where like you're essentially 2019 Throne Room, but you're locking in with like mixing your Twixes in your opening pulls, essentially. So see what happens. Now map. Standard start for map.
It's interesting. We haven't seen this deck in a minute.
In a while, all right.
Yeah, so this will be interesting.
This will be an interesting game. I mean, map's going to be able to drain for 2 in space. I can't imagine that the light side deck has too much to do there. But also, light side we'll have the activation jump, and we'll have the better guys on the ground, and there won't be strategic reserves. The farm puller is an interesting start here as well. So maybe thinking that Eric would play Watto, CCT, or IE or Court. So yeah.
So why do you think map hasn't seen a lot of play recently? Just because ISP is so good and no idea is so good?
ISP is really good, and like I think all the good light decks are probably good against map. Map actually might be decent versus Legend though, potentially. Could see it being decent versus Legend, but Legend hasn't really gotten the hate treatment yet. Like there's a lot of chatter on the boards about like, oh, Legend's the next great deck, but like, and it's really good obviously, but it hasn't gotten the same treatment that No Idea's gotten and Throne Room's gotten. Where like Throne Room's had the 3 dark times and just a lot of Throne Room hate, Emperor Start, and just being able to like figure out things that are only good against Throne Room, like Admiral Chirnu and Keshik system and like huge space and all that stuff. And then people are playing like multiple Never Yarnals and anti-spy cards. No one's playing like the random tech cards to beat Legend. Like no one's really gone down the rabbit hole there yet.
What cards are those?
I mean, I think you could do like the cancel battle cards in the battle, so they flip. You then cancel your own battle, like a stunning leader or something like that, or like a force push. There's like random cards that are really good against it. Like You Were Beaten's really good against the deck. So they kind of like pair their guys up. I think there's just like people haven't necessarily thought everything through of what's good against Legend.
Yeah, I know you're on D&D, so I know you guys have been putting out these erratas. Was Legend?
Right.
I know you put a errata on Legend, but was there any other?
My thought process on the Legend thing was like originally there wasn't one, and then people talked about the redraw a lot, and like there's definitely been like a big push to involve community feedback, which I think is good. Like monitor it, make sure that it's wide community feedback. It's not like one person's just driving the charge, and then sort of go somewhat gradual. Like I think some of the stuff is, you know, like Throne Room's been around for a while, and we hit the first wave of it where we couldn't play Like My Father before me,
Yeah.
and then like we've had to do stuff to it since, and like people are talking about the walking thing maybe being too much, but like it's like Throne Room's had its time a ton, you know, and I think it's still gonna be a decent deck.
Yeah.
And like ISB's had so much time to shine, and I think ISB will actually still be playable. But like hitting Legend, it's like you don't want to just bury Legend after like it's finally starting to get to the top, and it is at the top, and like let's see if it's at the top, can people adapt to it?
Yeah. And I think a cool thing about Legend that I like is it's not a boring deck to watch. Like it does a lot of cool
No,
things. I think you need to be relatively skilled to pilot it well. You have to have a
yeah,
really good game plan going into your games. So I think that makes for good games to watch for sure. In Legend, it's not like ISP where there's like, all right, just put a million guys at this site and go.
right. Yeah, the margins are thin too. Like there's a lot of games where like you can mess up pretty easily, and like it all hell breaks loose if you mess up.
Yeah. So back to this game, we just see
Yeah, I'm talking too much about
we
meta,
just
not about this. So they're just playing their sites basically.
yeah, just getting out their activation, drawing cards into hand. Okay, so here's Finalizer. So yeah, it looks like
Yeah, and
Eric's gonna try to set up in space first, which I think is a pretty good idea.
that's smart. He gets the pull. He's got 14 cards. I doubt Joe is um, playing too much space.
I think we saw. Were they playing Landing Claw in this version? I can't remember.
Some point, I think they might have had it against Steve in like a throne room or something. They've had a lot of different. Their whole team has had a lot of different. Like they haven't just rode one deck. Like they've adapted their decks a ton.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let he wants to do PBS kits. I'm gonna set a timer,
Okay, that sounds good.
like 30 minutes.
Um. So the thing here though is like one thing I don't know if this is what old map. Like without strategic reserves, you can almost never win a drain race if you don't have like a site in a system.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Joe, one thing we didn't look, who was the resistance agent? Was it Luke? It's probably Luke, right?
Right. It's a resistance agent.
Ray's the resistance.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I always liked having it be Luke.
Yeah, because like with that stormtrooper, like he's pretty much always not going to have immunity anyways, right?
Right. And like I liked one thing I liked doing when this was way back when map was this was like 2 years ago when map first came out. Like when I played you at the MPC. I liked putting this was when everyone was doing like the General Grievous still a lightsaber thing. So I liked putting Luke with like an EPP and not pulling the saber, and having that be my start. So you have 5 Lukes, you just lose a Luke,
Yeah. We don't have to
and the
talk
drain's
about
already 2.
we don't have to talk about that game. I believe that game.
That was a rough one for you. That was a rough one. All right, I'm gonna go to the chat, the game.
Oh, interesting. Did they talk about doing Jawa before this? I didn't know that.
What are you saying?
Silverglenn's saying that they agreed on Jawa format. I have no idea.
Oh, is that true? I think Silverglenn's got that European humor. I'm guessing he's like.
I mean, as like a
it's
teammate
hyperbole.
match, that might be an interesting wrinkle.
Were you paying attention when Tom Kelly and Mike had their match? It was pretty interesting what they did. They did each player
Yes.
picks 3 decks. Yeah, that thing was wild.
Yes, that was really cool. I wish we could do
That
more
was
stuff
cool.
like that.
Right. All right, so it's just Greg speculating. There's a lot of games. I guess all the OCS games are like today and tomorrow.
Yeah, so we already saw Steve versus Greg this morning.
Yeah, I missed
Tough
some of
loss
that,
for
but
Steve. I know he was probably pretty upset about the timeout.
he was annoyed. I watched the replay on it. Chatted with him a little bit afterwards. I think he actually was still not going to win. So
All right, so we see Luke go to the forest, Starkiller Base Forest. Um,
Battle plan comes out. So this is an instance where having Luke not be the agent's a good thing. He's immune. We would have to have the trooper. But when I was playing Matt very infrequently, this was a sequence where you could kind of win. This was the old version, but if he has trooper to steal the immunity in like General Grievous or something, and you could get the saber. Getting the saber was always huge.
yeah. Looks like
Especially
he's
in
a
like
little more,
it's like my father.
he
Like
might
my
not be
father
playing
before me.
Grievous because a little space heavy because he's got alert.
Yeah, right. The old one was like more aggressive.
Yeah. It's also just a different deck. You know, you could
It's just a different deck, right?
because strategic reserves really went a long way in that old version.
Yeah, right. This is the key turn though, because this is the situation where I feel like if he goes, let's say he goes like pay 3 to drain and goes like Admiral Chirinu. I don't think that works out for him in the long run. I think he just loses that game. If he say he goes everyone to another site, that might be okay.
Like to
There's also no,
village. Do you think he's gonna attack?
yeah,
Luke?
like
I guess if he has a trooper, you would attack Luke, right?
yeah,
12 force though, you don't. You gotta have a lot.
right. I don't think he's a little light with that. I feel like he should do one of two things. He should pay 3 to drain and like draw 2 and save like 7, or he should not pay to drain and set up a site. One of those two things. And then he kind of puts the pressure on Joe to be placed in the same scenario. Because right now Joe's up in this into the board state. He's draining for 3 versus 2.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like a more important card out than the ship. He plays the site.
Okay. Yeah, so Kylo here with the saber is pretty good because you're threatening to.
Kylo here is a saber. That card though, that site is like randomly really like that site against Legend is such a liability. Your guys are just like minus everything.
Yeah.
Like Han there for 3, Chewie for 4, in a deck with Brave Resistance. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Are they playing both games?
I'm not sure. Does anyone know in the chat? Silverglint seems to have the read.
He has all the info. He's
Yeah.
also playing. He's playing Bastion today. Map is a liability. He did not get in Cal at turn 1. That they were playing both. Okay.
All right, so T-Bill says they are playing both. All right. All right, so we see Hux take Stormtrooper in hand, probably Phasma. Okay, no, 9s. This is the one that snipes, right? Yeah, he's got
That's the one.
weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to the moisture.
Oh, okay, I like that. He gets not drained -1. That's cool. Although I don't know if I like that because now Joe gets to play Leia and Dig and Chewie and Dig. And I would have went to the. It's just tough. I don't think I like that.
You would rather see him go to the other Starkiller base side?
Well, think about it. Like Joe gets to now go. Gets 3 pulls.
Yeah. Leia, Lando, Chewie.
Leia, Lando, Chewie. It's a lot of momentum. And he loses the ability to get all his guys up to the ship if he ever needed to potentially move them over to Starkiller base. But that being said, he just had 2 pulls himself, and he's got 2 lightsaber cancels at this site. The card he really does not want to see is Clash of Sabers. Clash of Sabers would be pretty good for Joe right now. But then again, Joe's only activating 12.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I don't like him going into the farm because you're gonna get those Zeus Paw pulls no matter where they go.
Right.
And like you said, I don't think you're worried about Leia and Chewie going to the farm to drain for 1. You
Right,
want
like
to
it,
come after you.
especially like there's no side tour, so it literally is a drain of one. So it would be Joe putting his guys there for no reason. The farm poles wouldn't give him much.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't like that. And now like say he's playing something like a projection, like projections it and plays. You know, what if he drains for three, projections it, and plays like an EPP to the 2-1 site?
Yeah.
Like
Then what do you do?
that. When what do you do? You're one of your best guys is already there.
And notably, there's no Saber with Kylo, so
No saber with Kylo, and he had the pulse too. So I'm thinking he's thinking he can get it the next turn. Now, if you're Joe, do you fight that because it's a pretty weak force, or do you pay three, drain for three, and just draw like three and save? I don't hate that, and then come down the world to the farm.
okay. So he's attacking so here's Qui-Gon with Saber.
Okay,
See what he follows up with.
you'd
We
want to
want-
see like a Lando or something here.
Yeah, Lando would be sick. You get a use pile pool, you get extra battle destiny.
Yep. Um,
But like you said, he's like, it's gonna be very rare. It's gonna be very unlikely that Kylo or that Qui-Gon's gonna be able to hit anybody here.
yeah, he's got the two cancels, so unless he's playing the signal card, the virtual signal.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, see, this is pretty good. Now, both of these guys have been known to not play Hujix too, so I guess they both have to be more careful if they're not.
Yeah, but now Joe also runs the risk of just eating two to Kylo if he loses this battle because he's looking at 12 power
Right.
and 2 destiny. So he's got to have some
Right,
tricks.
I
here.
agree. It's a weird. He's in a weird spot.
If he has like Clash or Sorry About the Mess,
His
that
Clash.
that would be good.
Sorry about the mess. Doesn't do much because he's not gonna be able to hit anything. Leia's gun
True.
could be
yeah.
good. Well, Leia's gun's okay. Kylo would cancel that, and then Qui-Gon hits something. The nice thing about this deck is the destinies are probably really good. It's got a lot more sixes and stuff.
Yeah.
He could also like if he has like Hujix and something like a Jedi's Resilience, he could like lose the Leia and kind of whittle down some resources. What's chat saying?
Oh, so there's Leia's gun. Okay.
It has the Leia's gun.
But he still gets to cancel that destiny in one of this lightsaber destinies.
With deck's own map, I feel like it's
Everything.
yeah, it kind of like it's not that it's like bad, but it's not formulaic like it used to be, and so many of the decks are formulaic. Like
Yeah, you
think about
definitely.
the no idea matchup.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
what do you do against no idea? Like that's got to be so bad.
Yeah, because they just projection everything, and then they also play meta stage. This is really good against map.
You're
They
not
also-
going to beat them in space. You're not going to be able to touch the ground.
They have 2 resistance agents. It's just like, yeah.
And does this guy hit for forfeit 0? This nines guy.
I don't believe so. No.
All right, so that's pretty good. And there is a scomp link, so R2's pretty good there. So if he has a Sorry About the Mess, this is really good. If Kylo is Clash and inactive, does that stop him from canceling the Weapon Destiny? Yes.
Yes. Yeah, because he's inactive.
Yeah, so this is bad news now. If he has Clash and Sorry About the Mess, and Eric does not have Gick,
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble here.
he's in a lot of trouble. I played Bastion Game 7 of Worlds this year, and it was like a whole stack of map guys, and he was like, "Show me this card and I'll scoop. Show me this card and I'll scoop." And I kept showing him like all the cards he didn't scoop, and then finally I showed him the Clash of Sabers. He's like, "Okay, let's get some food." So I was going to actually mention this earlier about the sense play, that I wonder if Joe's just forgotten that a lot of maps play a couple senses, and he
pretty-
did not. He
Pretty
did not
clutch
play a
for Eric
shield.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Joe's not the best with shield pulls, and that's pretty huge there actually.
Do you think that's a product of Yemp, or do you think that's just
I don't know.
If he's
Joe's,
playing in person, do you think he would play the Sense Shield there?
no, I don't think. I don't. Joe misses some stuff in person also. Joe's kind of from what I don't know him super well, but from his game, he's kind of harebrained a little bit. it feels like he's going a mile a minute, and I think if he had to like think about it, I think if he was like talking about the game, he would probably make the right play if he was like commentating. But I think when he plays, he almost like outthinks himself sometimes, and he's just going so fast that he doesn't.
Yeah. No, I've definitely
It
noticed
opens
that.
him up for some blowouts.
I'm a much better player when I'm commentating than when I'm actually playing.
Right. Right.
There's just so much to think about when you're playing. It's such a complicated game.
Right. Yeah, like Joe at Worlds this year, like he beat me by 20 in a game 1, and then he started like R2 and Diplo, which like in Diplo versus Rops is like such a good matchup for Diplo to win by 10, but also like if it goes bad, it's a loss by 5.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one way that the deck can just like everything can go bad, and that's if Rops opens up a shield and kills R2 turn 1.
Shit, right.
Yeah, if like I open-handed like
Vader Shuttle,
Vader Shuttle and like Ozzel, and I get Ozzel from my deck so I could like fight, and I had like double force push and stuff like that, and I was like, oh my god, like this is the chance to come back.
Yeah.
But I just didn't draw a ship, so it didn't matter. But like those things like that, I think Joe doesn't always slow himself down.
Because we see
no
shame,
battle.
So
the shame
pool of do or do not.
The shame don't battle. I mean, you don't battle anyway.
Yeah. No, I was talking about the shield pool.
The shield pool. Yeah.
It's kind of like when
drain for 2.
When you're playing Magic and they mana tithe your card and you're like you play your lands. Like
after the fact.
after they mana tithe you.
Yep. For sure. My very first PTQ win was the moment I won it was paying 3 for Mana Leak. It felt good. I was like, pay 3.
Alright, so we see a drain for 2 at the system.
So he lost a 6 and a 6. Escape pod. So now the opposite basically needs to happen for Eric. He wants to go. He's got to get the lightsaber. If he has something like a You Were Beaten on Qui-Gon, he's also flipped, which is nice for him.
Yep.
And this is, kind of goes back to that back and forth. You play 5 Lukes and you play 2 Reys. You would have liked to have Rey. Like if Joe top decks a Rey at any point, it's going to be tough to get Rey back. Lightsaber happens. I wonder how much like Trooper Assault type vibes this deck has. Because if he can swing, swing at Leia, cancel a swing. It's going to be hard to hit anybody important.
We'll see if he has any of the non-uniques here to play.
Non-uniques. I wonder if he's getting Spectre.
Nope, there's Kick, okay. So he was ready for that anyways last turn.
He was ready, and maybe that's why he didn't play the Saber.
Kind of trying to bait Joe there. Yeah,
like worst case scenario, it gicks it. Best case scenario, like he has the Saber ready to pull the next turn.
Yeah.
Alright, so Min pulls a shield, firepower's fine.
We won't be seeing that card anymore after
a
while. How do you feel about that?
I think it's fine. I think a little bit of an overreaction on like the reacting. Every deck's got to react away. Like those cards are around for a while.
You don't think
Dodge and stuff like that.
I
don't think we're going to see like Arconas. I don't think so. I think we might see like more of it, but then like people will play stuff like First Strike, and it'll balance out. So this is looking good for Eric now, because what ends up happening, and this is why I don't like Joe going to fight last turn. Like if he had just paid 3 to drain and not done anything, he takes 3, but he took 2 anyway.
Yeah.
And he just avoids this whole situation from happening. And then Joe has to put a whole bunch of more stuff. I mean, I guess he could just play the lightsaber and like Min or something like that. But to race favors Joe. But if this battle happens and he loses, he's going to end up losing like 3 or 4 force from this battle, because he's going to have to lose 2 to Kylo.
1 to Snoke.
1 to Snoke. He's going to have to use 1 to draw Destiny, or lose 1.
Oh, actually, he won't be losing one to Snoke because he has Ben Canoe there.
Right. So he won't lose one to Snoke, but he's going to have to either choose to use Leia's gun or lose one to draw Destiny. And he's up pretty bad in power.
Ooh, and he's going to exclude somebody with
Oh.
Force Push. Yikes.
Boy. I like it on Leia because that means that Clash of Sabers is dead with like a solo vibe. Qui-Gon's not going to hit anybody, and Leia's trapped. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So now Joe's the one who needs the gig. And I venture to say he might not have it. I have a weird feeling this deck might not have gig in it. Okay.
So we see both these Destinies get canceled.
Right, and that's the power of map. And then...
Yeah, 19 plus 2 Destiny versus just 7.
And another shield thing, weapons display. Probably should have been played, right? Because of barrier anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
You might want to save that last shield pool.
Might want to save the last one, but
for aim high, perhaps. I know he's not a fan of pulling that one, but you know.
He probably
So
why does he
R2.
hit? Oh, he hit R2.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense. Going after R2 makes sense. He has to lose. They both have to lose one. He can like lose a random trooper if he probably doesn't have any troopers. Yeah, so that means there's no kick. Right, because you wouldn't do that if there was a kick.
Yeah, right.
Hujix. So he's got 12 forfeit.
Yep.
So it's not too bad. He's probably going to end up losing. If he draws a decent Destiny, he might only be down a few cards, but he's going to lose 2. And then he's going to be forced to figure out what to do with Leia.
Yeah, because he's going to have to back her up.
And he's it's hard though because he just used the Odin combo. He probably would have wanted that to get her out of there.
Yeah, just got placed out of play by men.
He really needs like the Tatooine docking bay. Or if it's the case where he just like he has Hujix in his deck and he just doesn't know where it is, he could just like draw it. It's another option. But then that's a lot of damage he's going to take. So he'll lose 2 more, maybe 3 more, maybe 4 more with between like if he it's probably going to be Min who dies now, along with if he draws high enough, it'll be the 6 Destiny guy and Min. What is this? This guy can send Kylo. Yeah.
Yeah, so he can. This is another interesting thing about Luke not being the resistance agent is now you can't transport with that guy.
Oof. So Eric pretty lucky there. Draws a 1 for an irrelevant weapon Destiny. That's lucky for Eric because that would have been his battle Destiny. That's one of those moments where you can just be like, well, do I really want to target? Let's just go to Destiny. But it pays off there. Blues are forced to double force push. Oh, I see. Just he powers up his Kylo by 1.
Yeah. But excluding is once per game, right? Yeah.
Excluding is once per game. There's a 3. And then a 1. Okay. So the 1 didn't. That's nice for him. So if Joe's able to draw like a 6 here, he would take no damage other than now losing 3 force. To lose 1 force to the thing and then lose 3.
Lose 2 to
oh boy.
It's like the worst. That's feel bad. The Hujix set you need in the battle, you draw for battle.
And he lost escape pod from. He lost escape pod from his reserve deck. So
He's down by 16. So Kylo will cover 8, so it's. Or Qui-Gon will cover 8, so it's these guys in
And
8.
R2 4. R2
Oh, yeah,
goes
R2 has
used.
forfeit, so. So these guys in 4, and then you still have Leia alone versus this.
And then you
this
have to
one.
lose 2 to Kylo.
Yikes. So he already lost 2 to Kylo.
And the thing is now is like, he can't. He's got to figure out the Leia situation. Otherwise, it's pretty much just game over. But even if that, I mean, I suppose he could like play something like a Lando here, and just fight, try to do some damage, and have the battle on your terms. I think is probably his best bet.
Is there any.
Like, play whatever's in his hand to the site and fight and forfeit everything, and then take your lumps, take your 5 damage, which is rough.
Would you ever consider just losing R2 here to cover the attrition and peeling the rest? That way you.
Oh my god, that would be ridiculous. I mean, that's 12 that he would take.
Yeah. But I mean, if you don't have backup for Leia, like, you could be taking even more the next turn. We know he doesn't have Fujix.
It's a good point. I mean, if he had like, it's not crazy. I think he's thinking about it. But 12 is so much.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think he almost has to. Yeah, he's doing that. That's
what I
insane.
think. Yeah.
A second Odin. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, like, you might as well, like, if you're just going to lose. Okay, so he does lose Qui-Gon. All right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I think what he needs, his hand can't be 9 cards that are just complete garbage. So like he's probably got like an Obi-Wan or Lando into like a Chewie would be decent. 2 pulls. But I mean, it's 3 to 21. At this point, he's got to think about just stemming the bleeding too. Like, just paying 3 to drain. I think he can.
Eric tending to real life stuff right now. Okay.
Steve would have liked that earlier today.
Yeah, so I think his best bet here is to have like Chewie, maybe Chewie Protector. That he'd be pretty good here.
Yeah, I mean Chewie Protector would be great. Solo, he clearly doesn't have Solo because then he would have top decked the Hujix. Did he top deck the Hujix?
No.
So then he doesn't have Solo. He can't retrieve anything, so he can't do like anything funky with like retrieving something and like raying it back.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have Ray.
Could
His hand is probably.
Yeah.
I mean, what is his hand? Anakin? Could have Anakin Padme, something like that. But it's still so bad. Like, he's not going to win this battle.
Yeah, I mean,
he's going to. And he's going to. So look, no matter what happens, he's going to lose 3 in this battle, the very least, right? So there's no battle damage. But say, like, he plays a couple guys and he fights. He's going to lose 3 in the battle. He's probably not going to be able to touch Kylo. And then the following turn, he's going to take 5. So he's just taking 8, no matter what. Like, it is possible that maybe he should have left the Qui-Gon there. Like, if he had, like, say he had, like, an EVP Obi-Wan, and then maybe that's good enough. Leia's gun and 2 swings to actually kill Kylo.
Yeah.
Like, it's very possible that he should have lost the 8. If he's got an Obi-Wan or another gun in hand, because then he gets 3 gunshots.
Yeah, you may have been able to get out of the sight, just by losing his 2 characters and not taking any more battle damage. But
right
now I feel like he's just in a hole.
And it's so funny because like think about how this game could have taken such a different turn if he had said, "Okay, I'm going to pay 3 to drain for 3, and play like a random guy." Play like R2 with Luke or something like that. Just a random guy.
Yeah.
And say, okay, like drain me for 3. And he saved like 9. Then he goes into that turn, attacking the Tatooine site, get 3 or 4 pulls that turn. You probably flip him back because he finds a Ray.
Yep.
And
So he would just take in the 5 damage versus the however much damage
it
he
wouldn't
took from this battle.
it wouldn't have even, well, it would actually, yeah, it would have been 4 damage. Not, yeah, you didn't have the saber yet. Yeah, you would have taken 4 damage.
Right.
Forgot there's a stormtrooper there. And I think, honestly, I think at this point he needs to get this matchup to like 20. Its goal. Like, I think he probably should pay to drain.
Yeah, I like your
Maybe.
play.
I don't know.
Paying 3 to drain for 2, put R2 at the farm. If you plan on attacking there anyway, so you get that extra icon.
Well, you wouldn't put him at the farm because you wouldn't want him to get. You wouldn't want to drain plus there. So you just drain the R2 icon.
Oh, fair.
But
that's fair.
like honestly, I would have just paid 3 to drain and drawn 3 cards.
Yeah.
Drawn 3 cards, saved like 6. He's activating 12. So yeah, save 3 cards, save 6 or 7. I forget if he had. I think he even saved 3. So you save 9, you take 4, you lose 4 cards. They're the same 4 cards you lost in that battle anyway. Then you go down with Qui-Gon, Leopold, decent Leopold, R2, 2 more guys. So we would have had 2 more guys in that fight. And then all of a sudden the dynamic is very different. And like and then that forces Joe, like Joe would have had to have played as Snoke to a site, and then it kind of locks Joe into stacking that one Tatooine site, and then it Eric, and maybe Joe goes to the other site, the other Jakkus, the other Jakkus, or this other Starkiller site, or the Jakku site, and just says, "All right, I'm gonna put guys here."
Yeah, I think you see that a lot. And even the top players are known to make this mistake sometimes. They're just so afraid to lose force early in the game. And I know
Right.
I was guilty of this so many times. But sometimes you just have to take your looks at the beginning just so
Right.
you can.
Yeah,
can
for
take
sure.
that poor position.
Right, 100%, 100% agree. Now, other thing he could do, suppose, is he could look through his deck for something, and then he could just draw for rescue, and then he could hope that rescue hits Fujix. That is, that's digging deep.
Okay, so we don't see that, so he's not going to try to. Because Fujix we know is at one of the bottom.
Fujix is at the bottom
Yeah.
card. I think he has to think about how he's going to not win the game, but lose by less. I think. It's also like he never found his JCC. I mean, map is maybe out of the meta right now, but this Endor deck looks. I don't know.
Well, you certainly don't want to see map when you're playing Leia's gun.
Right. Like an Endor deck that.
Alright, so he's using 3 to drain for 2 here. Okay, so. Whew. Wonder if he's got another way. Wonder if he's got another escape pod to get that Fujix.
That's possible.
You said he lost
That's
one at the
possible.
beginning, though, right? So there's already one.
I'm pretty sure he lost 6-6. He lost Escape Pod and Jedi Luke.
Yeah, I guess he could like maybe play solo somewhere and then use solos once per game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like if he uses if he plays solo with like Luke or something, and then, but then that he would have lost the Pujix. So I don't think he is.
Well, he can use escape pod in his last pile with solo to get Fujix.
Oh, okay. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. That makes sense.
Yeah, like he could play solo there for cheap.
Does he like?
Somebody else?
Does he take the loss by 25? Or? Eric lost 3 cards from his life.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna say. We're gonna say solo, escape pod.
Okay.
Get
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. And this is actually better because he gets to leave solo there now.
Yeah.
Instead of having to have solo survives. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. No second sense.
And he's gonna get the JCC. Okay, this is not a bad turn for Joe.
Wait. Oh, he took the. I was like, what? I thought he. For a second, I thought he.
Played that.
Jedi Council solo. I was like, did you see what's happening here? And Red Luke Run has been lost but maybe there's 2 in the deck. Wouldn't be crazy. All right, this is decent because
Yep.
he's going to lose force that would have been the drain.
Okay, so we see BB-8,
Okay.
so now he can retrieve if he so desires.
Oh, yes, and I think he should pop his Walkling right now.
To get Qui-Gon?
Yes. Well, there's no secret plans. He's activating 15, down to 14 is fine.
Okay, so he moves Luke over with this attack. Okay, this is looking good for Joe. This is pretty
And that's
good comeback.
you know what you know what this does? This means that he gets to play game 2.
Yeah.
One way or another. Like even if his comeback is, incredible and he wins this game, like this whole sequence that just happens means that he gets to play a second game.
Jared bringing
Unless first strike is in the deck, which is very possible.
Ooh, yeah.
What is Jared saying?
Saying that they were playing Surprise Assault in this deck. So he's wondering if that's going to come into play here. But I don't think it would be very good against this stack because there's so much power. It's good against ISB because they're all
Good against ISP,
strikes.
but like Kylo is now going to be 8 power after this battle. So.
Yeah.
But But what happens this turn is there's 4 damage. 4 damage happens. So. Oh, so second ray is lost.
So interesting that Eric.
He 100% should pop Walkling right now.
Yeah, I agree with that now with Ray.
100%.
I would have liked Eric to lose Min Canoe in that last battle so he can get this 1 extra force from Stoke, but.
Agreed, because he lost he had already
He already popped an interrupt. So
he already popped it, and I don't think projection's in the deck. He would know.
Yeah.
It's in this very strange deck.
Even then, I don't think you're worried about projection that much because you're still draining for 2 there.
I'm still draining for 2, yeah.
Alright, so see Isar go to the JCC. So Eric really just putting the pressure on here.
I don't know about that, though. Like, what does that do? He's going to come down. He's going to pay. It forces Joe into a decent next turn because now Joe's next turn is so clean. It's fight. It's drain for 3. Ping for 1.
Yep.
Wow, Ellis is interesting when there's no hate for it. And then he gets to play. I really don't know what Joe's thinking with this not retrieving. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, he already used solo to take Hujix to play Escape Pod, take Hujix into hand. That's already happened.
Yeah, that already happened.
So he's choosing not to draw, which makes sense. Eats his two.
Let's lose 4. Let's eat 2. Lose Leia. It's so bad that he didn't get the Ray back, but they're like these guys know they can play 4 shields, right?
Yeah, but Kessling was on the stream earlier, and he made a good point that sometimes when you're playing on Jimp, you just shortcut things, and you just assume sometimes that Secret Plans is out.
It's a good point.
But
I lost my game to MHT. He outplayed me, just played a lot better and won. But I was frustrated because I lost track of my destinies, and I played Fanfare just to check my destinies. And that was my 4th shield, and I didn't have firepower. So for like 2 or 3 turns, he played a guy, and I didn't retrieve. And about like 3 hours after the game was over, I was like, oh, he was legend, and he played the 1-0 site. and right before the game, I cut Cold Feet for like, I forget what I cut it for, but I cut Cold Feet like right before the game, and I was like, I think I'm okay with. And I start battle plan, I'm good with.
But that site's when you deploy it, right? Like as soon as you deploy, you have to play a shield.
Yeah, no, I played the shield. Yeah, it was probably lighting.
Okay.
I just didn't play the 5th shield when I could have because I just in my mind it wasn't like I clicked through the like whatever this.
Alright, so we see a drain here, then a projective telepathy played.
He's going to lose 4, and he's going to kill Isard with like an Anakin or something. And then it's going to be 5. So it's 5 to 4. And no good cards for Eric to fight Luke with, I don't think. So he's going to need to Ellis. But it's also possible this deck plays quite a mercenary. Non-V. Or V. Non-V would be wild.
Okay, so drain of 3, pays 5 for that. It's a projective.
You like get again, like that's fine.
Yeah.
I would have saved the projective for the battle on Asane. Because then maybe like Joe tries to play like too many guys. Like say he plays like 2 guys here.
Right.
And then he Asanes it. That would have been better.
It's one of my favorite cards. Projective telepathy.
Good one. I lost to World Championships because of it.
Jeez.
And Brian Hunter got one. Not cool. Not cool.
Yeah, I wonder if Joe just doesn't realize that he can retrieve now that he has BB-8 out. It's a pretty obscure part of the text on the objective.
It is, right. It certainly is. Now, if Virtual Set 13 Yoda was allowed, he would be in this deck. If anybody wants a spoiler, does the chat want a Virtual Set 13 spoiler? Who wants a spoiler? You have to say you're listening. All right, the Lux is listening. All right, we have to have more than just the Lux. Sorry, man. Or maybe I'll just Lux just like send your personal email. All right, so this is I will post the spoiler of my virtual card, my player card.
This one's yours. Okay.
This is from winning. This is the OCS 2018 championship card.
Virtual Yoda, huh?
Virtual Yoda. Let me copy and paste. I can spoil it in any way I see fit. And that will be here. In the Twitch chat. Oh, heck yes, Stubbly says. Yo longer, not a good with Ahsoka out. Not true. You've already seen it. And sent it to all your non-playtesting teammates. Anakin. We knew Anakin was coming.
Yeah. We see Ahsoka here, too, to back up this squad.
All right, Barrier, fine.
Yeah.
No one plays Barrier Hate anymore, so probably not. So firepower is going to happen.
This will allow Eric to back up this JCC if he wants, if he so desires.
It's weird, though, because, like, what is it? It's Mara. It's...
Grievous, Ponda Baba.
Grievous, right.
Maybe some Troopers.
Right.
Although we'll see if he's actually even playing 9 Troopers.
And if he beats down Anakin for, say, 4, next turn he takes 6. That's good. All right. Here is my Yoda. So the reason I picked this card is mains became way too many, like, non-mains in it. I wanted it to be more Jedi, so that was my driving force. The second driving force is when I first got good at the Star Wars cards. Senate was my deck of choice for Dark, but I really liked playing combat, and I played 4 of Yoda Mofo non-V in my combat deck, and he was a card that I just really liked. So here's the virtual one.
I'll get it up on the screen here to say it's the same one that's on the master list, right?
Yeah, I'll put it in our Zoom chat too. But he gets in the fray. That was what I wanted Yoda to do. I wanted him to get in the fray. I think it's a card that'll see play.
All right, there it is. Spoiler for Justin. Yoda, Master of the Force E. Power +3 when defending a battle, or all exactly with 2 Jedi on table. Once per game. Sorry, I gotta fix this text. Once per game during move phase, may relocate to a battleground site as a regular move. Immune nutrition. All right. Were you going for anything particular here? Or were you trying to help a certain deck, or you just wanted?
No, not trying to hurt a certain deck. I mean, it's playable in Hitco. I wanted just more opportunities to play like, instead of seeing like Luke with Hera and Saw Gerrera, I wanted to see Yoda with, like throne rooms with Yoda and throne rooms with Luke and not like all these support guys. Yeah, still Destiny 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this card. I think it's pretty versatile.
It's versatile. It's not like a 4 of index, but I think like maybe there's a deck that plays 2 of. That was another thing was like, all these decks play like 5 Lukes, but the doubles that they play are oftentimes the support guys, and I wanted a deck that could maybe play a double of like a Jedi. That's not Luke.
And what's interesting,
like Ahsoka's great, but like no one plays 2 Ahsokas, even though Ahsoka's great.
And the cool thing about this card is it gives the JCC a little more utility because you can upload Yoda to JCC and then move him somewhere.
Yeah, fight, right, protect it and move, which is sort of the sort of something that happens a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so we see Grievous come down with Sard and the Destiny 6 guy.
Oh, I wonder if Kylo's going to join the fray. This could be bad for Joe.
You can't move Kylo there, right? Because it has to be a resistance agent. Or a resistance character, I mean.
Okay, good point. Good point.
So Eric throwing the farm here.
And he gets to play his his command. He gets to cancel Destiny. But all that being said, it's not going to be enough damage to stop the 6 damage that's coming the next turn.
Right. But he's going to lose 1 here to the objective.
He's going to lose 1 to the objective, and he's going to eventually take an additional 8. So Eric loses 6, and then maybe loses 6 again, and the game's over.
Oof. Draws that 6 though for Destiny.
Or maybe not.
So 20 power. So 24 power.
24 power.
To 5 plus a Destiny.
Of 13 plus a Destiny, but it's not +1 anymore. He draws a 6. Okay.
Draws a 5, so 10. So he's down 15.
So he loses 7.
Yeah, Anakin at 7.
Anakin 7. And now that cites his. Probably wishes he had maybe played Ahsoka there, or maybe not. That was a pretty impressive comeback for that site, given that one of the map's problems is that it doesn't often have that. So Eric with, let's see, 13 in life force. If you're Eric, do you lose cards from hand here in the next battle? I mean, Joe has to pay 6. All the sites are kind of set up. Joe's never going to really be able to do anything that's better than causing 6 damage.
Yeah, I think so.
I think next turn you lose. So you go to 18. No, you go to 23. Go to 21.
Yeah, because
you
Joe's
do
gonna,
8.
So he has 15 plus 8, or 15 plus 3. So he's got 18 cards. He's got to lose 5 here, so he goes down to 13. He's got to pay 6 to drain for 3. So yeah, I mean, I think you're really not worried about what Joe's going to come down with next turn.
Yeah, but again, kind of a broken record here. But I think that I think the fact that this game has progressed this way is actually decent for Joe. That at least the game 2 isn't because it could have been so much worse.
Yeah, that solo into SK Pod was his saving grace for sure.
Wait, okay, he's losing 4. Oh, he hasn't actually lost the battle damage yet.
No, he's still thinking.
Oh, so he still's got 2. All right, so he only can do the damage. I mean, I suppose he could have like a EPP Obi-Wan or something, and he could pay 3 to drain for 3.
Right, so he's gonna walk Link. Okay, so he was aware of that.
Eric with the
I guess at this point you don't really care
super
about
plans.
Ray since you have BB-8 out.
Yeah, Ray's not doing much, although the Battle Destiny thing has caused him a few force loss throughout this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe Eric didn't realize it, which is why he didn't play his shields. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Pretty obscure text, but yeah.
So he's got 11, 12, 13, 14, he's taking 8. We actually can do 6 twice. Eric drawing because Joe has to use force, so drawing isn't too bad. He's drawing maybe a little bit more than he should have, but I think one thing that Eric can do the next turn is land a guy. Land Hux.
He also has Ellis though. Remember, we did see Ellis in his deck.
He does have the Ellis.
Although he may have lost that. I don't know if it's in his lost pile or not.
Yeah. There's 2 senses, huh?
Yeah,
Gravity Shadow.
All from hand.
Yep. So he was drawing because he knew he had to do the hands. I would definitely. You're going to see another drain. Projected telepathy maybe will come up in the next one if he's drawing for that. If he knows where that is. I wasn't paying attention to where it was. Jeremy, do you know what the matchup with Stubley and Fred was?
I do not. Does anyone chat now? B-Fred, Diplo, and Huntdown.
Okay.
Stubbly, Diplo with ISP. Interesting.
The double beatdown, yeah. Interesting that there hasn't been. Drew played Legend, but there's been a lot of people trying to find other light decks. Like Steve played Throne Room.
Yeah, interesting Throne Room
deck
from MHT.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a pretty good meta call with Gods since it's so good against ISP and all the scum decks.
Yeah, just like really randomly good against ISP, which is strange.
Yeah.
The game was rough for Steve though. So he pays the 6. Wonder what's in his hand. I mean, an EPP Obi-Wan probably isn't getting beaten down again.
Put him at the Jason.
Like here's the thing. Like if he has the Ellis, right? That means he just loses by like 18, which isn't that bad. Which is like a little bit less than he's gonna lose by now. But maybe he's just okay taking it and then doing another 6. Probably another 5 because you probably see a land and a resistance pull. Like Joe's not going to win this game.
No, he's just trying to eke out as much differential as possible.
Right. Like if he had like maybe like a. Yeah, Joe's not going to win this game. Reverting after force loss. I'm not really sure what that's about.
Revert. How far back do they revert?
I don't even know. But they lost the cards. I don't understand. Alright. I wonder what so the one thing that's interesting that's different about this than all the other events that have happened online is that the OCS you can change your deck based on what happened in the first match, first game. So you don't have to lock into anything. So like, for instance, Eric will be winning this game by probably looks like maybe I'm guessing high teens, mid to high teens, and Joe if the game was say decided by like 5, Joe could decide to play a deck that's he feels is going to win by teens. But if someone needs to play like an HP lock deck, they theoretically could.
Okay, so he's drawing some cards. All right.
Yeah, I actually think I like that. He's got the surprise assault potentially as a thing too.
To cancel the drain, yeah.
Although at this point, I bet Cold Feet's there. Like surprise assault at the JCC is not bad.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's
okay.
off the table now.
So we're not doing that.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Uh-huh.
Well, to be fair, we haven't seen this card in a while.
It makes it feel like though Joe was drawing for that though, like he was drawing for the surprise assault.
Now, do you think Eric will read that and just not drain at the JCC, or is it too?
So here's what I think just happened. I think Joe was looking for the surprise assault. I think it was in one of the 6 cards that he used. I think he drew all his cards because he's looking for it, and if it wasn't the last card, he doesn't have it. If I was Eric, I would drain. Imagine if it's his destiny. Yep.
Can you hold the fort down for a minute?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Jeremy is disposed somewhere else. The dog alert. It's a cool looking dog. All right. Fanfare to check this.
Good luck. All right, I'm back.
A shield was pulled,
fanfare,
but it was fanfare. Fanfare is like always the shield that's pulled when you've been asking for people to pull other shields all game. It's like, oh, he's probably gonna do it.
Okay, so we see Drift 2 at Jakku, drain for 3 at the farm, and then we'll see if he decides to.
I mean, maybe he doesn't because it's the same math anyway, right?
Oop. Okay, so he does do this. We'll see if he's got surprise assault.
Lame.
No.
Yeah. So now we'll see if Eric is content winning by 15, or he does something funky like playing a random set of guys in front of the drain of 3 or something. Because it's weird. Joe has to.
Ooh, he lost from reserve.
Well, because that makes sense because he can put a card down.
True. With my father.
But I think that
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That means he does the 3. So now what's going to happen is he's going to take 4 damage. So he's going to win by 17. He should win by 17, or potentially more. He should land his Hux, play resistance, and win by 18. If he has a used interrupt. Well, 2 used interrupts because he's got tragedy. But this is a reasonable number. You know what I mean? This isn't a number that determines the match. Certainly, you're happy to win by 17 with Dark, but
yeah,
you don't have to play an off-the-wall deck. Like Joe could still play regular old ISB.
Unless they decide to do Java.
Yeah, I don't think they did.
Yeah, ISB certainly capable of winning by a million, as we saw MHT do against Custom.
Right. Yeah, I didn't see that game. How did that happen?
I don't know, man. You'll have to talk to Mike.
I was gonna text him and say good run. Is Mike here?
He just played really, really conservative.
I was gonna text him. Wonder if these guys are playing game 2 right away. I know when Steve was playing Joe was really hard to schedule. Well, Steve works like so much
Yeah.
It was hard to schedule with Joe. Joe was saying he had a lot of different things he needed to do throughout the day or whatever.
All right, so you see 59 plus resistance.
Streaming other matches, I guess. Sorry, I can't play my game. I'm streaming another match. Throw a little shade for my boy on behalf. All right, so it's gonna be a loose 3 total.
Yeah.
So a card and 2 from hand, and then I don't think it's gonna be any way for Matt to retrieve, right? I don't think so.
So we're looking at probably 16 for Eric.
Looking like 16. Plays the projective.
Yep. So you're down by 16. You just play ISB for dark? Is that?
I think so, right? I mean,
yeah, calculus is pretty easy there.
I think so. I mean, I think if I'm in Eric's shoes, I'd probably play like something solid, like Legend, maybe.
We know Eric does like EBO. Is EBO good against ISB?
I wouldn't want to be EBO there, I don't think.
Yeah.
Especially like if Joe goes any type of tech. He just gets to go like so fast. No fear of any ground beatdowns. Go like Cloud City Docking Bay, both the Cloud City sites. Projection's not live anymore. Feet.
17 by, because we forgot about resistance. Yeah, so 17 for Eric here. Looks like.
Oh, he had already pinged him for BB. I didn't realize he already pinged him once. Yeah, so 17, and I think he's just gonna be content with 17 as well and just get it done. In these situations, sometimes you think about like, is there a way that I could like, trap him and get my Phasma text, if I have my Ellis or something? But no, there's not. So, especially with BB-8 out.
All right, so Drew says they are going to play game 2 immediately after this. Okay.
Do you want to stay on and do it for a little bit, or you have other things?
Yeah, I'm going to stay on.
All right, cool. I can probably stay on unless someone else is already wanted to do it. Does
Taco,
someone else want to do it?
I think Taco Bill said he wanted to do it. Let me ask him if he's still interested.
You want a 3-way?
Always, man.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do 3. That was pretty quick.
Yeah. I'll shoot him the Zoom link.
Let's see what they say in Slack too, because they might. Or just ask them. You can't message them, right?
What's that?
You can't message them on Gem, right?
Message you?
Message Joe or Eric and say, like, are you guys playing? We can just message them on Slack. Let me just find that Slack. Yeah, Jared, highest win rate versus ISB. I mean, it's certainly something he could play, especially being up 17. It just feels like with this sort of refined ISB list, and now it also has like strategic reserves. We give her strategic reserves and resistance and your drain retrieval.
Also, as ISB, you can just play Navi Decree. It's like so good against EBO as ISB.
You could do that, and that's the other thing. Like, I'm not sure. Again, the teammate. Like, I'm not sure how much they're like teching for each other. But like, right. Like, if I'm in Joe's shoes, I'm putting a search and destroy in. I'm putting in like,
or it looks like they are.
A second strategic reserves. Stuff like that. And he gets to just play like so. He gets to play so aggressively.
Yeah.
Like he can go. He could potentially flip and Docking Bay turn 1 with the Cloud City sites instead of 2 drains of 2.
Right, so here's Taco Bill's joining us now.
What up, Taco?
Guys, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Hi, Taco. Eric said you need to leave your house and get sun.
I did not leave the house.
This is the same exact spot. Taco's always in the same spot. Taco's like, what do you mean? I have a tan.
This is pretty tan for me.
Any predictions for what they're going to play? Obviously, I think Joe has to play ISB. It's just the best deck. He's been playing it forever. But we'll see what Eric wants to play. I would not be surprised if he plays something like QMC. QMC is pretty interesting. He likes that deck a lot. It's good against ISB. It's just hard to play.
Eric likes his tech non-virtual cards.
Yeah.
That's something that he really, I think, prides himself on a little bit. Like, oh, I was born when this card was...
I was blowing people out with this in 1996.
Right, like Bright Center. If he plays EBOs, I bet you'll see something like Bespin System and like It's a Hits and Bright Center to the Universe.
Interesting. Tarn Bison, we'll definitely see him. By EBO.
Definitely see him. But I think if you'll see Bespin System, then you'll see It's a Hit Bespin System and like some weird way to stay like battle plan safe or something like that. If I was Eric, I think I would probably Legend.
Legend? Yeah. Because he's had the best matchup against ISB.
Yeah, and like even if you... It feels like it's hard for ISB to win that one by 18.
Yeah.
Because you can get your BB-8 fast.
I mean, it's doable. If you end up flipping quickly, then ISB is able to go spread to your Acto sites and just like throw down Mirror Intership and a random pilot and just drain for 3 over there, in addition to what they're doing normally.
Drain for 3 where?
At the Luke's Hut and the 1-0 site.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
You're talking about
the Falcon.
Yeah, landing.
The Falcon helps a little bit, but
But
yeah,
if you're chasing stuff around, then you're not
Right,
you're able to pay,
right.
or you have to pay. Excuse me.
All right.
Hey, while they're setting up, I'm gonna go feed the cat.
All types of animals.
It sounded hungry for sure.
Are they Okay, Joe's eating. And he should. I mean, he's very skinny. So he needs to eat. So let's talk about what people should do in their certain situations. So if you're Eric, what should you do? I think you should Legend.
Yeah.
I get what Bill's saying by like going and spreading out, but doing that down 17 seems hard to win.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like that seems bad. And then Eric could EBO, but I think that to me doesn't seem good because if you're playing Eric, you got to figure there's a chance of the EBOs and you can put like 3 cards in and take out like a Lana Dobreed I guess Lana Dobreed's still good, but take out like something. And the other thing too is like ISB can force EBO to play more ships and like have a Gick.
Yeah.
You can't spread out super fast. So that's that. And then if you're Joe, I think you just play ISB, right? And you play like three cards that maybe you take out like a Trooper Assault for a second Strategic Reserves or something like that.
Yeah, I think you guys play ISB, assuming they're not playing Jawa. If they're playing Jawa, then I have no idea.
That does throw a wrinkle into things.
If you're all right, let's go through all the matchups. If you're Silver Glen, what do you play against Bastion?
I don't know. I still play No Idea.
I haven't seen Silver Glen play in a while. Like after he qualified, he kind of fell off.
He's been in private games all week.
Has he?
With MHT, yep. I don't know who's prepping who. So I suppose he could be playing like MHT stacks.
Well, if that's the case, maybe he's playing a lot of ISB, trying to get him ready for Greg.
That could be. And then if you're Bastion, what do you play?
That's a good question. I haven't seen Bastion play in a while. He's been really involved in playtesting recently, but And it seems
profit
like-
watering hole.
I'd love to see him play the agents in the court. That would be great.
That would be sick. Yeah, if he did that, that'd be sick. And if you're Greg and Steve's down by 10.
Yeah,
You
I think Greg just
play-
plays Legend probably, and Steve probably
Legend,
plays
yeah.
ISP.
We just have another slog of a game.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the current meta. Games
So-
take 2.5 hours.
Why don't we talk about the erratas and what we think the meta's going to look like after the erratas? Obviously, we don't have the full spoiler list for 13, but I think we can make some assumptions based on the erratas.
It's a big set, and there are
Huge
like
set, yeah.
there are cards coming out that are like it's not just like, oh, there's a new spy coming out for no idea, or there's a new trooper for no idea. So 2 no idea cards, or there's a new ship for
OA
this
or whatever.
Kuat deck. Yeah, it's like there's like decks coming out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'll
I
be a
started
change.
working on an article. I'm going to do 13 decks for set 13, right?
Oh, that's sick.
It's looking like I'm going to have 6 brand new decks ready to go. I guess like maybe not brand new, but updates to some decks, right? It's decks that we haven't seen in a while.
But there will be a time period when only the erratas are available, but there's no set 13. So just based on
That's-
the erratas, what do you think is going to change?
That's round 2 of the OCS, I think, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it right?
Yeah, round 2, maybe round 3. I don't know when. round 3
I
actually
think
starts.
I think the extremes will be balanced out by like a correction. So I think like court is so there are some anti-court cards in set 13
Yes.
that obviously won't be out, and a lot of the errata to Walkland Heart's throne room. So there's less throne room, so everyone's like, oh, court will be so good, blah blah blah. But I think there'll be corrections to the increase in what people think is more powerful, and it actually won't be as big a deal as. And I think you'll see some decks that might be like good against court, but like couldn't be played because of ISB, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Maybe something like Diplo might have like a uptick. I don't think it's as much. I don't think it's as clean as like, oh, throne room is way worse. That means 90% of the meta plays court. I don't think it works like that.
Right. I mean, there's still anti-court cards available that you can play, like Guts, and we might see.
Yeah, and
more
so,
of
I mean,
those.
think about like Diplo or like even Legend's been doing well against court,
Maybe we'll
or
see
like
Profit.
Legend.
Profit.
You
maybe.
see like
Yeah.
Legend.
I was going to say
Legend with
profit
Guts.
just because the downturn in Decree's not necessarily automatic anymore because of
Yeah.
the no idea errata. So maybe something like profit, something like WAP can jump up.
Yeah, we might see more gifts. All right, so looks like they're about to start to match. But
Let's
yeah,
go.
I think we'll see a gift a lot more. Not that that's a great answer because of robot, but
Oh, I almost joined the game. That would've been hilarious. That would have been ridiculous. I almost joined with ASM, but I can't.
So yeah, I think we're gonna see ISP from Joe and then probably Legend from Eric. I think that's my guess. I would love if they were playing Jawa. We don't see those 2 decks because I'm sick of seeing ISP, but
Yeah, I think we'll see ISP. I mean, I suppose Joe could do his Joe sort of strange thing where he's like, oh, I don't care about winning this thing. I'm just having here to have fun, even though he's like not, but it like gets him off the hook, like emotionally and mentally.
yeah.
So you could see that. And it's like, oh, it's my teammate. I don't care, and like sort of gives himself an out. But I think he'll play ISP and play a real deck.
Okay, so they must be playing Jawa because here's Router Ops versus EPO.
Well, EBO's banned at Jawa, isn't it?
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Oh, why would he play Router down 17? This is like a buy for Eric, I think. Oh boy.
Oh, so they are playing Jawa. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Interesting. Okay, so Imperial
They're
Decree
playing
Hanji
Jawa
is really good in ROPS against this type of deck. But I guess he doesn't have EBO, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So it must be some
Well, if
sort
this isn't
No,
EBO,
it's
I
happening.
ran something like this about a year ago where it's just you play it as a mains deck. You get all your activation from a new secret base. You get the 2-0, you get 2 1-0s. I ran it with
Jedi business.
I ran it with like my father before the errata, because you could pull a system and put it back every turn. But then Jedi Business, I've seen people play that out of this, so
Okie dokie.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so he must
These
be
are
playing
some-
with speeders or something. Like,
What are the cards in Java? Like, what is Java?
what
Java banned the top 5 most played decks in the meta, essentially. And so EVO was one of those. Throne Room was one.
No idea. Legend and
Yep.
Diplo.
Diplo.
No, Diplo's not banned.
Diplo was open. I don't remember what the 5th one was. It might have been Hitco.
That makes sense. And then ISP and
Yeah, ISB,
Hunt down.
Entanglements, Court,
down in court.
Hunt down. Pretty sure Hunt down was one of them.
Hunt Down.
And something else.
Yeah. Notably, it wasn't CCT, it wasn't Watto.
CCT's available. That's crazy.
That will change after Worlds, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Map and ROPS like it's last year.
Yeah. They were 2 on the original list.
So at least we're not seeing guys.
All right. So we've got Battle Order. It's like EPPs. Probably.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess.
I don't know that we're going to know until he actually
It's
deploys
gonna be
the
a lot
character.
of Nah, you can know that stuff. If it's not played, if it's not no weapons in your, I suppose it could be like speeders, but I don't think we would see this start.
I mean, you'd probably start Flaps if it was speeders.
Yeah. Right. No, it's EPPs then.
True. You should do that. Set it up.
Yeah, like what is this? Seriously. Like,
I mean, at least it's something more interesting than ISP just stacking at a site.
someone screen cap. Oh my god.
Would you ever consider doing something like this with one of your teammates, Justin? Playing a Java, playing a different format?
No. I mean, it's an interesting question though, because there was this like whole proclamation by Joe about like, oh, Throne Room's unplayable. List your top 15 decks, blah blah. And I was just, that's just not the way I think.
Yeah.
Like that's not the way any of us in our team has ever thought. Like we've thought about playing like decks that are unplayed. Like, can we figure out how to attack like a format with like this deck? Like I remember there was a thread in 2009 that was like Prophets unplayable, Prophets unplayable, Prophets unplayable. We all played it, and we lost like one game. We all day three'd. And it was like, then all of a sudden it was like, Profit's broken, Profit's broken, Profit's broken. So, and that was when the pool was bigger and there wasn't jump. So, like, stuff like that. There were 2 Throne Rooms in 2015 that played at Worlds out of 61 people. They came in first and second.
All right, so we see Eric throw down Entree Falcon B to Hoth, move over to routes here to make it hard for Joe to flip. So Joe's going to have to commit something to routes here to flip.
Yeah, like a shuttle. Joe did not start Indoor Shield. Did the swap card instead.
Yeah, this is kind of, it's tough to figure out what to start with ROPS because I know I've been helping a couple people with like the Java format or the VR format where they're both, it's playable in both of those for that Corona Cup. And so like trying to decide if you want to start Endor Shield or Insignificant seems to be a common theme, right? So either you get your fast start, which is maybe too fast, and then you can't play Insignificant.
What's a Corona Cup?
That's the event the Europeans are running.
What can you not play in that? What are we?
You don't even want to know about that one.
Oh my god.
You can't play rares, premiums,
Rares.
no idea. All virtual cards are legal, and then you can only have 1 copy of each card per deck.
So it's Highlander paper. Paper.
It's somewhere between like Pauper and I don't even know what to call it.
God. Oh my god.
Yeah,
This
Pauper
game
and
is like-
Highlander.
I mean, like this format, this Java format favors Eric so much because it's like, I don't know. Joe did this voluntarily. Like, it's not good for Joe because Joe's like thinks about Star Wars nonstop, but he thinks of like the current aspect of it, where like Eric is like, cool, I get to play these like cards that no one plays. and he's like a master of this domain.
Yeah.
So this feels like a mismatch of formats because Joe will be like this. I know I'm supposed to do this thing with this meta and this matchup, and I will do it. And isn't the best at thinking on his feet, but he's the best at like playing the same game 1,000 times because he's done it and he's done it in his head 1,000 times. But, like I don't think he's planned out what's going to happen with like Hoth CRV non-EBO versus ROPS that doesn't have a formula anymore.
If I had to guess, I don't think that he thought that deep into it, or that he was like worried about.
Yeah, he probably thought
this.
it was fun.
Yeah, let's just do something fun for the content. People are tired of seeing ISP. That's got to be what it is.
Right. I mean, it's just it's similar to like some things Joe's done in the past. All right. Now we get some more sites. 21 in hand.
Who does he think he is? You?
I don't do that. I don't do that at all. I think I'm the most cautious on my squad in there.
On your squad, yeah.
Chu is draw to 21. Oh, you Grim Tash me. Okay, cool. Grab it. Next turn, draw to 21.
We have like a running meme in the chat about Bastion doing the same thing. Like Bastion's just gonna draw 21 and beat you with those 21 cards and not even care.
Yeah.
Do you think Chu will come back anytime soon, Justin? I mean, this is a pretty big change here. It's almost like a reset with these erratas.
And I know that the private games were big for you guys too.
Yeah, I think that's nice. I think there was some like I get the concept of people wanting to see like top players play, but there was some really sort of awkward stuff that happened with some like private messages and stuff like that, and like DMs, and people then watching your games, and it got a little creepy. Not that we need to like really expose it here, but it was certainly frustrating for us to sort of feel like we were always watched, and then hear a few people mention that people had like spotters. Felt a little creepy, like flagged, oh he's playing, and then like screen recording. That stuff felt a little weird, and certainly weirded us out a little bit. So the private game thing is cool, and I'm certainly going to continue to play like publicly in like the open series for the reasons that it's important that people play. But it'll be nice to sort of be able to close your door here and there.
Yeah, and it might,
I hope he comes back.
It might slow down this, having the meta figured out super quickly.
Right, but I also think it's important for like me to keep playing, for people to watch. I think that's good. You want those games, but I think it's good that you get to sort of close your door. Like I was always big. Like I always played the team tournament, and I always like people like a random guy would come up to me and be like, "Hey, do you want to play a game?" And I'd be like, "Cool, let's play." And I think that stuff's important, but you also don't want like when you log in the same 5 alts always like I stopped using alts and like the same 5 alts like immediately go dum 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 dum. Like players watching, it's like okay, like if you're gonna watch me, can you at least watch me with your real name? Like what's like can I have that? Can I have that courtesy? Like that seems a little ridiculous.
Yeah, there are things going on behind the scenes for us to address alts as well, but
that'd be cool, But I think people like Chu coming back. If he comes back, that'd be cool for sure. Not going to like not gonna be like critical of people watching the Fuels games too much either. But
yeah, it'd certainly be nice to have him back, and I know he's been waiting for a big change, and I think this is it. And with a big set like 13 coming out too, there's a lot of cool stuff in 13. I will say.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the art. That's something I'm not involved in, and I'm like knowing what the cards are. I'm really excited to see like some of the Rebels cards that are coming out, like some of the animated stuff coming out, and like see the art there. I think we have like a lot of like the Inquisitors. I think we talked about Inquisitors being like that's public knowledge. I hope it is. If it's not, spoiler. But I'm pretty sure we talked about that being a theme in one of the Holo Theaters. Like art like that, I think is some of our best art. Like Hera is like a really great art, and seeing that on some of the dark side cards will be great. We don't really have any dark cards from Rebels too much. You have like the Grand Inquisitor, but Callus, yeah. But those are 2 like really cool looking cards. So it'll be cool to see some of those kind of in place. I think we have a little more flexibility with the cartoon stuff than like a random actor. Like the Finn cosplay isn't our best work versus like, like Hera's like one of the best.
Yeah.
Have they done anything in this game? Oh, Mars in space. Okay.
Yeah. Expand the Empire went to the prefect's office, and Mara went to Hoth.
Gotcha.
And 3PO is on Hoth.
3PO is protected. Oh man, maybe this is
like Deadbolt. Gonna break
Yeah, I was
out
gonna
here.
say, I wonder if we see a Ket Wall, Frozen Assets, because he's starting to draw their fire. So I wonder if we see a Shield Bust. Secret Plains Outflow. That would be wild. That's something that I could see Eric doing.
Yeah.
He has totally done that. I definitely played against him earlier this year when he was trying to shield bust and just do everything ridiculous to the point where he started not Fear is my ally, an unusual amount of fear, so he could play Anger Fear Aggression. So I'm sure he has this deck built.
Interesting.
Eric said it was a goofy deck. Let's ask Silver Glenn what their team did. Justin, what did your team? What did you guys like? What was your communication on this? Because you clearly had some if you had committed to Jawa without telling anybody and without telling the commentators. And
Would you have not
have talked about being
Jawa?
No comment. The first game was reasonable.
Yeah, I agree. Two reasonable decks. These, I don't know. I mean, Rops was nerfed into oblivion, and who knows what Eric's playing here.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like,
It's a goofy deck. Decided earlier today. They just yeah. I mean, Steve and I we chatted this morning like super early about his deck.
What did
That's one thing. I think like there's not too many people who are really locking in. I think people are having fun just sort of being a little willy-nilly with stuff. Because like everyone knows what the best decks are. Like ISP is the best deck, Legend's the best deck. So like people are sort of, they want to be a little more creative. They're kind of just like, you know what, let's try it. Or they're just playing these really good decks.
Okay, so we see EPP Ray and Qui-Gon, or I mean Obi-Wan go down to routes here, making it really hard for Joe to flip.
Yeah, the double sight's tough. But he does have Expand Empire. So,
Yeah, so interesting.
I was like,
This now allows Imperials that same or related sites power forfeit +1, and it stacks, right?
yeah, so it could be +3 if
Yeah.
he goes.
Like guy to each of the sites now. Everybody's power +3, forfeit
Yep.
+3 too, right?
Forfeit +3, yep.
How do you feel about the playtesting process now, Justin? You're on D&D too, right? So you get to see it from both
I'm not
sides.
really a playtester. Yeah, I just like to. I have a playtesting account just so I can like see if how a card works and like report back to D&D. It's cool.
Do you feel like it's working much better now that everything's going through again?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't used to get too much. We got a lot more info now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like hot and cold with D&D. Like I'll come in for a set, then I'll leave. Someone like Chris has been on there for a lot longer, but it's good. I mean, I think sometimes it like falls into sort of D&D part 2 with like the theory crafting on like the chat a little bit, which isn't a bad thing. Like there's been some really good input we caught one card that was like, so it was like meant for a deck, and then someone was like, what if that just goes into SSA ISB, which at that point was still potentially a thing, and everyone then on D&D we like, hey, playtesting found this, and this site will be way too good. It was like a site that would like, it was like activation +1 for each like character there or something like that, which would be like ISB would activate like 10, or it was like something about that. I was like, I forget exactly what it was, but like that type of stuff's healthy. And then the playtesting reports, getting them from Jump is great, and like with you coding the card so fast, it's like super helpful. We need to clean it up so like you're not constantly like, it probably has more like benchmarks where it can be like, all right, wave 1 is 3 weeks, and then like we send the next wave to you or something, so it's not like.
Yeah, the process is still evolving. I mean, we've only done this for 2.5 sets, really.
Right, and I think now we know this process is going to exist.
Yeah.
So like, I know the one thing I will say is that like design, we used to be much more careful with our first like draft of things. Like we would have more like we would troubleshoot each card and like, let's make sure this isn't broken. Let's make sure this isn't broken. Let's make sure this isn't broken. And now with playtesting being a lot more active, we can kind of be like, all right, let's send this thing to playtesting. Hey, it's probably too good, but let's see what playtesting first thinks in their first like wave. Like there's a card that we had that it was like it drew a card every turn from the top of the reserve deck. We're like, this card's probably way too good, but let's just see. And like playtesting was like, hey, it's way too good. Like even before even playing the game, and then people played it. And ironically, I don't think it was actually that good in any of the games, but like enough people had said like, hey, this is just too good that we were like, all right, like drawing a card every turn from reserve deck's too good.
Yeah, I think they eventually changed that to force pile, right?
Yeah, it was like force pile, and then like who knows if that card ever really goes anywhere, but
yeah, that was definitely something that when I first saw a lot of the cards, you just kind of have this reaction like, oh my god, this card is busted. And
But
if
then-
you're doing it for that reason, I think it makes a ton of sense.
yeah.
Whereas like I didn't know that honestly going into this set. So like I saw some cards and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be a battle with D&D. Like these
Yeah,
are
I
too good.
said that I tried to keep up with it and said like, hey, we're sending in this wave. It's probably too good. And then I think we at one point we sent in a wave that was like too, like there was one of the new objectives where it was way too powerful. We opened up a limited character package, and in D&D we were like, let's open it really wide, see what happens.
Yeah.
Kind of knowing that this is going to be too good. I think I said that I was like, this is probably too good.
Yeah.
It's including like droids that we didn't include before and all this stuff. And now it was like, all right, then the first one was too light. It was like too confusing. You could only play such a few character package. Then we opened it up to everything.
I think
And then we were like,
I think it's Eric that broke that, right?
well, I think
Actually, I
in
built
the
this
middle
deck.
of it.
It's insane.
yeah. And like, well, Bastion had it for a while, and we were like trying to get it sort of like the porridge of like the Three Little Bears vibe. Of like, first one's too hot, this one's too cool, this one's just right.
I'm excited to play that deck. I'll say that. I don't know if it's any good, but I'm excited to play it.
And I think that's like the point of it, the set, right? You want stuff that people are excited about to play.
Yeah.
And you're not actually sure. I don't know if it's good either. And I think there's some stuff that's good and some stuff that's not.
You said you had
And
something.
even with like,
You had something else to
Okay.
spoil, right? Besides this Yoda, you had a OCS foil or something.
no, that was it. This is the OCS. This is the OCS champion card.
Oh, okay. So this was it. All right. Yeah, for those who are joining us late, this is a spoiler that Justin gave us. This Yoda Master of the Force V that he
There it is.
for winning 2018 OCS, right? This is your
Yep,
card.
the first one, and the cutout's gonna say it's not gonna have my name. It's gonna have the KTOD as the winners, which I think is cool. It's like we all top 8, we all top 16 and get collaborated and stuff.
All right, so back to this game. So we see Joe play a bunch of guys against Ray, Tarkin, Death Trooper, Veers, Inquisitor,
Grand Inquisitor.
yeah.
So he will be able to flip. Well, he won't be able to flip. If he had the sight, he could have flipped. Post battle.
It's Ray going after Death Trooper here.
Nope, that's the correct one to go after. Secret plan started, so that's nice for Joe.
Hits, retrieves 1. So this guy's gonna actually his text is gonna be a lot more relevant now that we're getting more Inquisitors.
Yeah, it's all. It's pretty cool. And that art on like the other ones, hopefully the art we can get some that's similar to that. I love that art
Yeah.
for like the other characters from Rebels.
Yeah, graphics team doing a bang up job with the images for sure.
And there's gonna be some stuff dropping soon, I believe. I'm not in command of that, but there's gonna be like I think spoiler lists and stuff hitting relatively soon. So
I think the frequency of spoilers has jumped up, and if they're trying to get it out, if it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks before Worlds, probably trying to look at like early November.
yeah, I think even maybe a little earlier than that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in October. I hope
Just for Halloween.
for Halloween.
So we have to assume that with a 17 card hand here, that Eric probably has a Hoojix.
Yeah, especially the way
Or a
he
way to
went
get it.
with like
Yeah, so-
guy like that.
Yeah.
But I wonder if if you grab it based on the way this game's set up, like grab it and then lose Tarkin and then try to do it again.
Interesting. So it's forcing the Hoojix here with command. So maybe that is his plan.
Yeah, do this once and then do it again versus Obi.
Yeah.
Joe likes to grab Hoochix. It's his vibe. He's a Hoochix grabber guy. Plays aim high, but domination's not active, or whatever it's called. Oh boy! Imagine if there is no Hoochix and like we had this long drawn out game with all these decisions, and game 2 was just like, oh yeah, I'll beat you down for like 50.
Turn 4 with my 20 card hand versus your 20 card hand.
So what happens now? He loses Veers, and then do you think he chases over?
Do you have the street?
I don't think so, right?
I mean, he could move over, but I think he just leaves the 2 guys there.
Yep.
Figures out what's going on. I mean, Eric probably has something with 17 cards and 17 force and draw their fire. You don't want to run too much in there.
That's a good point. So many commands.
We may have to switch Zoom meetings. We'll see.
You've run out of time on your Zoom meeting.
Yeah. We got 10 minutes.
Get premium.
I'm not going to pay for premium Zoom. Probably should just be using Discord, but my whole stream setup is set up with Zoom. So. Okay, so Ray does die. 21 overflow.
Has to have it. He doesn't have it.
There it is.
Oh, lame.
This is your least favorite card in Star Wars, Justin?
No, I like it.
If you're Joe, do you grab it here, leaving yourself open to draw their fire stuff?
Oh, he only has the 1?
Yeah.
Force saved.
Yeah, I mean, because it's pretty obvious, right? Like what his plan is now. Eric can just easily retrieve it.
I would have grabbed it. But
It's tough, right? Because like 17 card hand, 16 card hand now. Probably have a mess, probably have a clash, something like that. If this is a main stack that's trying to draw their fire.
Right, you can't grab it. I didn't realize he only had 1 force. What time does Silver Glen versus Bastion start?
Starting at 4:30, but possibly slightly later.
Is my game a different format tomorrow? Do I need to know something?
You're actually playing a Premiere Special Edition.
Can you imagine that? Like we're playing Premiere only. It's like load up. Like what would stream say? Like Obi's Hut. Revo you.
Just playing demo decks.
Just Obi's Hut Revo you. Like how do you can't beat that?
Alright, let's go see Anakin. See what else Eric has in this deck. Lando would be nice.
That was definitely not the Golden Age.
Do you think there was a Golden Age? What do you think the Golden Age is, Justin?
I think that like Premier Death Star 2 was probably a Golden Age, but I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have. It's just like our meta now. Like it was the number of games that were played in that format compared to like the number of games that were played a week on Gemp. You know what I mean? Like people get real bored playing Maui Do Learn versus Brain for Me, or Maui Do Learn versus Rops, and there just wasn't as much cards back then. So that was good. Yeah, I liked one thing that I did like was like before when like their objectives, but before prepared defenses. Every deck had like 3 variations of what it did, which was cool. So it was like hunt
Premier
down.
Indoor.
Yeah, Premier Indoor, Premier, even like Premier like Jabba's Palace. Like I think it could be like Rops with Bad Feeling, Rops with IO. Hunt down with both of those. Like those type of things were cool. But they also I think would just run their course.
I'm more partial to Premier Reflections too, but I have a soft spot for Watch Your Step. So.
Watch Your Step and Dark Surgeon.
Yeah. And that's when I started playing too, so that's kind of like when I learned how to play. It was in that meta.
I think if like Tatooine didn't have pod racing, Premiere through Tatooine actually would have been pretty cool. Like Premiere through Tatooine banned pod racing. Not that pod racing was even that good, but if you think about it, that's all of the Decipher cards before it got really out of hand.
That leaving out Coruscant, Thief Palace, and Reflections 3, right? Those are the
Yep,
ones that are-
and that's when it really got out of. That's when it really jumped. With, like Senate and Senate without cameras, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Combat was just absurd.
And then combat, and then Senate with cameras, and then EPP Mall, and then all the Reflections cards and the shields. So like if you think about it, Premiere through Tatooine, no pod racing. That'd be an interesting format. Let's stream it.
GIMP is open source now. You can code that if you want. Make
Yeah,
it
I mean you
more
could also
possible.
just play it and say don't play it.
Get Tom on the
I mean,
line. Tell him that tomorrow.
Tell
It
Pod
would
Racing
probably
that.
just be. It would probably just be like step. It would. But the thing is, it's the same thing. It would just be like, hey, we figured out that step is the way to go.
Yeah.
And we figured out that Black Sun is like really good. We figured out that QMC. Whatever.
I miss Watch Your Step. Maybe we'll see it back in the meta after Set 13. We'll see. It is
There are solo
It
cards.
is solo based. So.
I wonder if they are smugglers.
So Eric was able to drop what? Anakin, Rey, Ahsoka, started a battle, swung at Tarkin, hit him. He did have a sacrifice. Joe did have a sacrifice to protect his forfeit. But that won't matter because there's a mess.
Who wants an intruder missile in the lost file here?
Mhm.
Oh boy.
So definitely playing Tarn Myson. Eric Hunter always has to play that card.
I approve.
This ain't good for Joe.
This is the same thing, right? Oh, well, wait, never
No.
mind.
Maybe not.
No, it's not,
Maybe.
because he used his force. Okay.
Yeah, so I would have grabbed the kick then if he didn't have the kick. I wouldn't have bluffed the kick. I would have grabbed the Hoojix if I didn't have the kick.
Yeah.
It's like you has to have sorry about the mess. How much force does Joe have left though?
24.
36,
12 and a half.
including hand.
But check it out. This is kind of crazy. Like he doesn't have solo, and he lost to Hoojix. He doesn't play two Hoojix. So it's kind of like he's not getting that back right now, at least. So, like Joe could beat down Obi-Wan. Grand Inquisitor's forfeit 8. I don't think it's yeah. So he's gonna lose 2 cards. And then if he's able to like get Tarkin back, he's gonna get Tarkin back because he can swap.
Yeah.
So he can have like Tarkin and like if he goes heavy here, 14 force. He has like a. Should we switch to the other? Do you want to switch to the other thing? The other Zoom?
Yeah, let's switch to the other Zoom.
Do you want to go to a breakout room? Sorry.
We're switching Zoom meetings. We'll see if Justin comes back or if this is his way of just getting out of this.
So this is way to get out. All right, so he did swap. He swapped a Sane for a Death Trooper, actually. So he probably has another Tarkin.
All right,
He's gonna
Justin did come back. We were wondering if you were going to bounce out on us, Justin.
I thought about it.
So he didn't swap for Tarkin. He swapped for a Death Trooper. So that tells me he probably has another Tarkin.
Yeah.
There's another Tarkin, and I wonder if this deck has like Dark Collaboration. That'd be sweet.
So I was about to say, like, I hope I see like General Tag and Tarkin and a Death Trooper and Dark Collaboration. That'd be great.
Yep, that would be awesome. Alright. We've got a lot of commands. Like, you could play like the good Thrawn, the 4-power Thrawn,
Mm-hmm.
the Death Trooper Tarkin, and a command is 4 destinies. And
Runs up in space.
Thrawn's in space? What?
Yeah.
What is happening?
That's why I figured it would be General Tag.
Doing much battle damage. He's not doing much damage. Or Eric isn't at least.
No, and what was it was 17 was the diff, so he's got
Yeah.
what?
He's got room
26
to. He's on
life force left to work with.
Yep. I might have put in Ray. EPP Vader's interesting. I probably would have put Ray with in the middle, or Ahsoka in the middle, because then he could have moved
Okay, so if you see
Ahsoka
Tarkin,
for Vader.
looks like you're right, Bill. So we'll see if we see EPP Vader. That'd be really good here.
And that doesn't work. Never mind.
Death Trooper.
Yep. Oh, he can go Garrison from deck if he hasn't.
There you go. Nothing in there though.
Hmm. He needs like another guy, like 2 more guys. He doesn't have the force.
So is it David John?
Yeah,
That's 15 with 3 Destiny, but Obi covers 13 with his forfeit.
Feels like he needs like maybe. Does he have Ozzel in the middle? Would be nice right now because that would buff. That'd be basically power 6,
Yeah.
and then he can move all his guys over. And that would also unlock domination. That would be pretty huge if he had that.
All right, so we see a battle here. We'll see if
He
this.
feels like he's 1 guy away from. Like Joe can like Eric can like resilient guy and.
He is getting 3 battle essays though, but we'll see if Eric has.
And he gets to redraw. Eric draws like a 1 and Joe draws like 5, 5, 3 or something.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of 4s before.
Yeah, like, even like 4, 4, 3. That's like what 11, 26 to 6. Yeah, you need something like that to happen, I think, to get in this game. Otherwise, this game's just gonna pull back and forth.
Well, he gets to redraw anything under 3.
Yep. There's a 4. He just wants to draw 4s, right? 3 4s is 27. So it would be 9.
All right, it's 3, 4, 3.
26.
26.
So right now he's down 13 minus his draw.
It's just awkward though because like he yet again is gonna get beat down.
Yeah.
Once
Doesn't
again,
matter.
I'm asking for you.
He has 11 cards in his hand still. And 29 cards in his deck.
Yep. And he's gonna do 2 damage.
Which is adding 1 here with pro defenses. Okay.
Is there not like a sight? Is there only 3 sites? It's been unlucky.
I don't think he looked last turn, but
Yeah, there's no way he doesn't. He's only plays the city and not the docking base.
yeah.
So 9, 17. So he loses 10. That's big.
That's not bad.
Out. That's not bad.
But I mean, you're stuck with a lone Tarkin.
I would just draw both cards, I think.
Yeah, but then you have yourself to draw their fire, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't have the kick, so it's like, what's the point? Yeah,
He
that's
could
the problem.
exchange though, right, with his objective?
Yeah, does he have a kick in Lost Power?
Not sure. Alright, so he loses Tarkin, leaves David John there.
Yeah, he loses Tarkin so he can toggle Tarkins with his thing.
Yeah.
And I guess David's power 5 and draws Destiny versus Tarkin, who's a 4 and draws Destiny.
Good point.
So not a bad battle for Joe, but I mean he's
And he still has how many cards left, Joe? I can't. It's my screens. How many does he have in his life force?
24 in life force plus 6 in
For
him.
Joe.
For Joe.
21 for Eric. With 9 in
Substantial,
hand.
man. If Eric comes back down and doesn't have like another good guy, like a Lando or something. Yeah, I like that play by Joe there. I think. Maybe not. Which Tarkin is that? Which Thrawn?
Virtual.
This run? Yeah, virtual.
Mithra? Ugh.
No, not mid. The
The general.
Grand
In
Admiral.
general.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my favorite one. Not great on ships, but
You can still play command. It's good enough.
still play command. Yeah. Beefy too. Train for one. Lando here is really good.
Yeah, he did resilience to Obi, so we know he has at least that.
Mhm.
He knows his bottom.
But I don't think he has Lando, right? Because he drew, unless he's been thinking right, because he drew the turn prior.
Yeah, he didn't draw.
He didn't have Lando and he didn't draw. Kind of would have played Lando before then, right? I think. Lando's just so good with EVPs in this situation. This deck should just be playing like 7 Landos.
Are you Steve Harpster?
7 Lando. 7 Lando is good until you draw Lando in your hand and you're like, oof, not so much.
All right, so you see Obi come after David John. Yeah, Lando would be real good here.
Is the swap text once per turn now, or is it once per battle?
Once per battle.
It's probably not battling in space. It's kind of weird for Eric though. Like if he plays another guy in fights, probably costs 5 or 6 force, and it's like he's in the same spot where if he has a guy left over, the guy theoretically might just get beat down again, but Tarkin and like another guy. Well, that's great. Okay. That's
Here.
basically Lando.
Yeah.
It's the same as Lando. And he might be drawing the 5 and the 7, right?
Think so, but I'm
I
not
think
100.
he tracked
percent
to it now. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
drawing the 5 and the 7 because he could have activated more. Right? No.
Yeah, there should be 4, 5, 7 left.
4, 5, 7 now.
Yeah, this
Game
is
over.
just that's just for the weapon though. This is not battle.
Yeah, but then it's 5, 7.
No, that was the 7.
He
So
just
Oh.
it's 4, 5.
Yeah.
Wait, he redrew for the weapon?
Yeah.
Dumb. Why would you do that?
Maybe he thought the 7 was one more down. That's the only thing I can think of, but still, you can still redraw no matter what. But she doesn't take in a hand, does she?
No.
No, just straight
No, yeah.
redraw.
I don't know why he did that then.
It's going to be weird now if he draws like 5, 1. Well, he's going to draw into his 3PO card, so it's going to be 5 and then whatever the 3PO is.
Yeah, I'm assuming 6.
7, okay.
7.
But he knew that was there. But the 7 he just drew was on top of it. Unless he's got 2 of that 7, it would just... Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
He
It's
already
just
has a 7. So 3PO. Same difference. Makes sense.
This should be game, right? It's going to be 10. That's going to put him under.
Unless he drew the one...
This one
Unless he,
card
when he
was
lost
Gick.
the cards before, he lost the Gick and we missed it. But yeah, I don't think he can take 10 and win. Who's the winner of this play?
That's a good question.
Is it Drew?
Alright, so just have Gick.
He had the Gick?
He
Yeah,
did.
Gick, he did.
Wow.
I actually think it's Paul Myers, but I'm not 100%.
Wow, that's a big deal that he had the only thing now. Wait, why did he revert?
He wanted to swap with
Oh,
Sniff Gun.
Yeah, the winner of this plays Paul.
Paul versus Eric, old school, bad blood.
Who did Paul play? Oh, he played
Like Nick.
Nick, yeah.
The blood match.
And you're playing Tom Damon, right, Justin?
And I'm playing Tom, yeah.
Who knows what
Tomorrow.
he's playing?
I
He
don't
went
know.
12-0, played 2 more months, and then hasn't played since.
Are you 12-0'd? Oh, God.
Although first month or second month.
Oof. I'm up against it then.
Have you done any prep for Mr. Tom Damon?
I played a little bit now.
Have you ever played him before?
Probably. I played a lot in the winter. I think I played him. I think I lost him maybe that month. He did really well.
Yeah, it was the first month. Okay.
So yeah, Gik here is
Wonder who he's. Gik's a big deal, but the fact that Eric has 575 tracks is going to be pretty good for him. And that those are all to top, so like any battle that happens is going to be really good for him now.
Jared. Jared saying you actually played Tom in the Outrider Cup. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, that went well for me.
For him, perhaps it was the greatest day in his life, and for you,
Okay,
perhaps
relax.
it was a Tuesday.
Relax. It's not a Tuesday. It's a Thursday.
I figured I would get the Street Fighter quote right.
I have a Oh no! You came here to fight a mortal. Instead, you found a god. Brian Fred's aroused now. I mean, it's looking pretty good for Eric. One of the things that I think has been good for Eric this game is that he's always had enforcement covered.
Yeah, and he's sitting with, what, 757 on top of deck?
757, he's smart enough to not 3PO, and
3PO for the Jedi Lev immediately after that.
yeah, and then like sure this happens, but
yeah, he's going to be
he
12
really
plus 8.
He really needs to go like.
See if he has a Garrison. Garrison would be good here.
Garrison would be good. It doesn't seem like he has it.
Clash is good.
He has Clash?
Yeah. Clash is Tarkin.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's rough for Joe there.
I mean, kind of. He can move men away, and then he can give some battle plan.
And he can get beat down.
I'd like play a guy with to the city, to the middle one, move men over. Move over, it takes 1 damage, and hope that that's decent then.
Hope you get flip at some point, maybe find that 4th site if he's even playing it. You gotta think it's
I think you go guy to the middle, move men, move Kier, move Mara, draw 1, pass, take a damage. Enforcement's out now. You block a drain with Tarkin, and you got Tarkin preloaded for the beatdown there.
Okay, so Gideon. Did he not? Oh, he just takes it in hand. Okay. So he does play
Gideon's
men.
pretty slow.
It's all his force though.
Okay.
So he's gonna be susceptible to
Get this.
draw their fire.
Yeah, I don't understand a lone Gideon.
Yeah, just play Gideon to the thing. I mean, I guess he's just thinking he's powerful enough to
Well, he
kill
can't
the
move more
Obi-Wan.
right now, so he's gonna lose 2 to force trains. He opens himself up to draw their fire if Eric has something to go against Gideon.
Yeah, you figure like Qui-Gon is available. He's throwing cards back.
I don't. Okay. And Eric can now get to his 7s again and stuff. I mean, he could not fight, and then Eric has to activate his good card, his good destiny, and hope that those are bad to bottom.
He just took. He did 3PO, so he has the 7 in his hand now.
7 in his hand now, and he has a good one that he could get to.
Can't quite get to it. Still gonna 3PO for that Jedi Life.
No, he can get to it, right?
He's gonna have
Yeah,
3
so he's
cards.
14. He's seven.
Or 4
17 down. It's 16 down, so he can go swing and then draw the 7, or draw the whatever he put down.
Yeah.
Because right now it's card, in his 3PO.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe down to 23 total cards here. He's only got 5 force to work with.
And he's taking an extra one because of handle.
Extra. So Joe loses this match most likely.
Yep.
So it's going to be Eric and
Paul Myers.
Oh my. Oh god. PP Leia.
Yeah, now Joe's
This
trouble.
game's over.
You can't do anything. Put Gek or anything.
No get. Play like Dark Time if he had it. But...
You can't play that either because of Draw the Fire.
Yeah, if you like played it now and then had another interrupt. That's
That
not
does
gonna
miss.
get it done, boys.
Ooh.
We missed.
Slight weapons malfunction in the third Destiny.
Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Slight weapons.
I don't know why he didn't Jedi Lab them there. Because he's still got enough to slight weapons also. And then he would have hit with the 7. I mean, it's probably enough anyway, because
Yeah.
Joe can cover 11
What's a lot of random?
versus at least 20. 25.
So 18 total here.
Forfeit 8. Yeah, so this is game. So Eric advances,
So
plays
16,
Paul.
so he's going to cover 9. Yeah.
Who's Drew play? Stubley?
Drew's playing Stubley, yeah.
Yeah, when is that? Is that today?
I'm played.
No, that's round 2.
That's not even yet. They both won. So
Oh, that's just the
And then-
next round.
Bastion plays the winner of.
Well, Bastion and Silver are playing, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
that game plays the winner of. Who did that? I'm missing a match.
I can pull it up real quick.
Because it's me and
Alright, so-
Tom versus the winner.
Yeah,
of...
Paul is going to play Eric.
Uh-huh.
Stubley is going to play Drew. You and Tom, the winner of that, will play the winner of Shaw and Baroni. And then Adam Fletcher is the one you're missing. Adam beat Brad. He will play the winner of
So Echo Base
Bastion
Trooper versus
and Silver.
Bastion or Silver. Alright, cool. Alright, well,
All right. Well, thanks for joining
good job,
us,
guys.
Thanks for the spoiler, Justin. Sorry you had to.
Yeah, no
commentate
problem.
Jawa.
No, it was
matches.
alright. The first game was good, though.
Yeah.
Second game was kind of weird. Alright.
Thanks for jumping in, Bill.
Is anybody streaming the Silver Gun game?
Yeah, so Drew and Justin Miyashiro are going to stream that.
When does it start? Starting like soon, right?
Like 20 minutes or
20
so,
minutes, yeah.
probably.
Alright, I'll be in the chat on that probably.
All right.
All right,
Well,
bye,
thanks,
guys.
guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for everyone
Take care.
who joined us today. See ya.